Alright, so I'm going to do some rehashing, some picking back up, and then get us back on square here. So I'm just going to flat out say the reality is this has not been the game played that I should have played. Not my best game. I definitely have made some mistakes. Still in it as it is. It's going to be interesting. I'm definitely behind the eight ball, but I've already made, we're just getting ready to start US3, and I can say I've made two blunders and one mistake. I'm going to call it a mistake. I'm still not 100% against my choice, but the first blunder was the US1 bit. If you watch the YouTube video, the first video of this particular game, Rudman in there mentioned about the fact that I could have gone to the Solomons in round two, and he is correct. I'm gonna walk through that in just a second. The second, or the mistake I made, or what I feel I made, was putting that um, AA in Kaza instead of West Russia. I think I could have disrupted him, discouraged him from attacking West Russia if I had put that second AA in there and he wouldn't have attacked. It would have left me with three infantry and a bomber, and I think he had his six fighters or five fighters, six fighters that could have hit it. And I was worried about protecting the bomber. I don't know that. I, I don't know him well enough. I don't think that's the battle they would have taken even without the AA. And then I would have been able to move my bomber. And then yes, he could have used his Japan Air Force that he had sitting down here to come and wipe out the three infantry. But I think the AA should have been better. So that's my mistake. I liked having it there because I really wanted to protect that bomber for the setup of trying to kill the battleship, which obviously all went to kaputs anyways because he was able to kill the UK fighters. So, hindsight, it was a mistake. I should have had it in there. He probably wouldn't have attacked West Russia then, or maybe he would have. I still don't know that answer yet. The third one was probably in the last round. You guys are probably saying, "What in the world are you talking about?" Dead zoning C zone 36, because I don't have C zone 36 dead zoned. I don't even know what I was looking at, to be honest. I mean, it was just a straight up blunder. Um, so this puts us in a tough position. I'm going to talk about a current position, but I do want to go back to that round one US1 turn. And you got to use your memory a little bit. I didn't pull up the old cues, but that's where, I did my UK twist, and it was perfect, right? He put his fleet in 61 with a battleship carrier in 60, which meant I was going to be able to drop a fleet in 35 without having to use my cruiser as a block, and we were set. I am so used to normally when I'm playing I would say higher level players, what I've run into is they place their units more in a position. They'll take out Pearl, and so then they don't have to protect these guys, and they'll bring everything to 61, and they'll have C Zone 35 dead zoned on UK2, so I can't do a UK2 drop. That's what I'm used to facing. And so, based on that, I always go US1 up to Alaska, where I'm now threatening, you know, the backside of the mainland as well as here, and they have to make a decision: do they stay down here to dead zone India, or do they come up here to defend versus the northern Alaska route? That's the reason I did US1 going up there. That's my usual. And even though I sat there and I said I've already got the India drop, I went into auto mode and just did my US1 here. I didn't need to go up there. I did not need to draw the Japan Navy up. I could have done the traditional come down to Solomons, had the UK drop in UK2, and then I would have already been bam bam coming in here. And there's some finer points of the play um, within that, but it definitely should have been there, and that would have been a much better position than what I'm in right now. Um, so I got to give the shout out that would have been the smart way to play. I got into auto clicking or auto play, and even though I knew it, I just auto played US1 instead of looking at the situation I had. And then, like I said, I don't even know what I was looking at during UK3. my brain just, I have no idea. I could have sworn I had this dead zoned. I don't know what numbers I was looking at, but this is definitely not dead zoned. Even if I hadn't lost that bomber to take DEI, this still wasn't dead zone. So I'm not really sure. Too many games. I'm putting it on brain fatigue. I had 4 games going. Normally a 1 to 2 game at a time player. One of those games against Intex and his Axis and his tank rush. A game against Elric, this game, and another ranked game. Now the good news is Intex game's over. I did win that game. It was a great game. That would have been a great one to film as far as defending a tank rush and doing KGF, which I know I got a number of new viewers probably haven't heard me say. KGF, killed Germany first, is the more consistent way to win a game, and it is the way I normally would go against a tank rush. Kill Japan first, which is what I'm attempting here, is just the funner direction in my opinion. So I like to play this route just because I find it interesting, and normally I'm really acute and make good Navy moves. In this case, not so much. So now we just got to look at the situation in front of us because we gotta go here. So Germany's going to hold on G4 and G5. I'm pretty confident about that. That's one positive. Pretty confident Germany 6, he's going to be able to take Moscow. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to get as many fighters as I can within range on turn 4 so that turn 5 they can dump into Moscow to try to protect it. But I just don't see it being a possibility with him continuing to build tanks. He'll be able to build like 7 tanks this next turn, and because I haven't been able to get a UK, an Atlantic fleet going here, he's really got no reason to build infantry. That's why it's so barren back here. Now that may turn to my advantage later in the game. We're gonna see. So this is probably gonna fall G6, probably. If I can hold on to it G6, that'd be fantastic, but I'm just guessing it's going to fall G6. He's going to push his Germans up to Egypt. He may even try using the transport to do an Egypt TJ double take at one shot because he knows he's got me pressed now because of Japan here. I'm in a tight situation. I suspect when I move these guys up, he's going to come down to Caucasus. He's going to stack Caucasus on G4. So he's going to have a stack here. He's going to have Germans here. He's going to have Japan here. Whatever's in UK is alive here is in a pickle. They're in a conundrum. So Germany's going to break through into Africa. So I need to be prepping for that already, which I've been doing this more and more often. I've kept the US2 transports, land transports over here, and I just start working them into Africa from the beginning. And we're going to bring over a couple more units. And so what we're going to do this turn is we're going to bring them down here, the 2 AAs and an infantry. I'm going to keep back my units here. If he wants to step back with Germany to hit these guys, fantastic. I'd love him to. Then I can just take out the Germans, but I don't think he's going to go forward. From here, he goes here, G4. My 2 transports can come down here, drop my tank, artillery, a couple infantry on US4, and then hopefully I'll be able to contain what he's got going on here. US3, I'm going to take my bomber over here, but US4, I can bring it back to Australia no matter what happens over here and still be able to threaten here. Well, not no matter. I guess he could. There's the possibility he brings his Japan this way, which could be a problem. So lots of different angles kind of coming around here. One of the things that we're going to just vaguely, loosely keep my eye on, because I would be obtuse not to, is a potential victory, allied victory city play here. So like I said, I'm going to bring these 2 here, which means these guys are open. I've got this guy here, so if he abandons this well enough, there's a possibility I could get into Karelia. Probably not. But I need 4 more, right? So there's a good chance I'd be able to take these 2 because he's just blitzing all out. That means there's these 2, which I'm hoping to take Philippines this turn, which means this guy could potentially have an opening. for me with US to attack while taking these guys as well. He's such a high level player, I doubt he's going to give me that opportunity. But against lower level players, I almost guarantee you, I take this US3. If I have a guy survive, they won't think about protecting here, and I'll have my two subs or two transports here where I can grab these two, and I'll grab that guy. And because they don't get the warning saying you're about to lose, a lot of people will miss it, and then bam, we get a victory city win. I'd love to have that happen in this game. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's all the kind of the stuff that's going through my mind. So now we got to figure out what to do about this situation. I really want India to be able to build more fighters for a couple more rounds to pump into Moscow because I don't have a carrier pump. So any fighters built here have to be built, fly to Iceland, and then get over here. So it's too slow to get here. Whereas India, they built and fly in. So I really want to defend this, which I can, and my ultimate decision is I am going to. Um, with that, I can't. I got to take away his bombardment, so I need to use a destroyer in Zone 35. Plus, I don't want them all going straight to Africa yet, because that's going to be a headache anyways when they do. Um, and that's going to be my. This is going to be, these guys here is going to be my Achilles heel the rest of this game. And you can mark my words now that this fleet and these units, assuming he does what I think he'll do, will be my Achilles heel going forward, and probably be my demise, to be honest. So I am going to be able to defend India. I'd be able to get down to like a 35% shot for him if he sent all his fighters in, and I don't think he's going to want to do that. Well, I know he's not going to want to. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. I don't think he's going to want to do that. But Germany's going to be coming right in, and Germany getting India is unfortunate. I'd rather Japan take it, but I think Germany's going to get India. Um, my goals is I need to get the Philippines now. So US3's great job, Philippines. Getting UK, getting DEI and Philippines in 3 is great. He's probably going to take DEI, or he can take DEI back, which actually would be not a bad thing for me if I'm able to turn around and get these retaken quickly with the US, so that they're all US. I kind of prefer it that way. But the other thing is, I could just send all my UK and all my US and stack C748 and take this, right? That's the, well, I won't say it's a smart play. That's the obvious play. However, what if I do that? He keeps building his ground here, and he's ground Japan ground into the mainland is tough when you get into the late game of KJF. Really don't want them. So if he then takes his entire fleet back to Zone 62, he can leave his destroyer in 61, build a destroyer in 60. He could build a carrier and a fighter. He'll have 4 carriers, 8 fighters, 2 battleships sitting up here in Zone 62 with a double block. Now the US could kill 1, but there's not enough UK living to take on that fleet. So then he pumps 8 more guys over, builds some more guys. He'll be able to then go up towards US or pump more guys in this way or this way. So I really don't want him getting his fleet back to Japan. This is one of the nice things about where I'm sitting, is I need to find a way to prevent him from getting any more C builds out of 60 and 62. If J3 was his well, he didn't build a C build in J3, I guess, but if he's not getting any more ship builds, then that's fantastic. And that's what I want to do. The last build he'll have is that carrier that he built. Whatever round that was. I think that was J2. But that's not easily done, as you're going to see. The best strategy that I wanted is to move my battleship, 2 carriers, 4 fighters in here, use a destroyer block of my own here, and then put everything else into this. And that'll give me enough sitting here, plus these guys coming over to Dead Zone 62. But that would mean I would have a cruiser and 2 infantry to take Philippines, which is not the odds that I want to have. So as such, I need to move a carrier so I can use 2 fighters on the Philippines into Season 48. But in essence, that is what we're going to be looking at. And when I finish up my move, I'm going to describe my play with these guys. I actually kind of like what's happening with these guys. It's kind of an interesting play. So we're going to pull that up here in just a second. First things first, to make all this happen, I'm not super happy with this play, but ultimately it's going to play off anyways. Just because I get a feeling he's obviously more of an airborne player. He's not built any subs, so he's not a sub spam KJF defense. He's a air and land KJF defense. So I'm going to take out the land component hopefully this turn. But I'm going to build a carrier, 2 fighters off the coast here because they can 1, 2, 3, 4. Those fighters can immediately be helping dead zone these guys, as well as even 61. So the fighters built in 56 are immediately helping me put pressure on these. Wait, not quite that far, right? Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there and the Philippines. Yeah, okay. My mind was going a little backwards on me, and they can even actually reach, 1, 2, 3, 4. They can actually even reach all the way down to here if I needed them to. So these fighters I build here immediately get to have play on here, and like I said, US4, my goal is to get as many fighters, hopefully into C-Zone 61 or India, that can then head to Moscow on 5 as possible. So building them here 3, they can jump over to here to 4 possibly, and then 5 into Moscow. So that's where my build's going. I had a little bit extra. I'm going to build an infantry to have over here to eventually for these guys to keep trying to pick up and pump back and forth. Now, unfortunately, again, just because I have I did pull out the calculators on this one. I've got to leave the battleship and cruiser back in Season 60 with a destroyer with a carrier because he's got 7 fighters that could hit it, and that's going to be a toss-up as is. So I can't use any of the bombardments. I've got to win this. I've got to take the Philippines. I got to hold this sea zone. It's going to be tight. It's going to be battly, but we're going to do everything we can. Let's see over here. Bomber I'm taking over. I need them over here in the Solomon. So that's not Solomon's. Iwo Jima. I'm sorry. My mouth talks without my brain thinking sometimes. Do I want to go ahead and take a crack on the Kazakh guy and get in, or just turtle? Or I could even take in here. Or a little of both, right? Go one here, one here. I think we're going to go ahead and do this. I need to whittle Japan down. I feel pretty good about 4 or 5, and like I said, I'm already pretty confident that we're not going to be able to stay 6. So and that'll be our attacks, right? I am worried. I stared at this board way too long, and when you start looking at a board too long, your mind gets stuck in a train of thought, and sometimes you just miss the obvious. So there's a little bit of that concern going on. Hit, hit, hit. Whiff, whiff, whiff. Ah, dang it. Come on, we need a hit and take, no hit back. Okay, good. No hit back 5. Yes. All right. Whew. Okay. Need another hit and no take back. Or no hit back, excuse me. All right. Whew. A little bit of luck on my side this round. I'll take it. Oh, shoot. That's not where I want you to go. I do not need you up there this turn. Actually gonna bring you down this way. So this is going to be the interesting play I'm going to talk a little bit more about. Now getting him down there helps the dead zone here because 1, 2, 3, 4, I couldn't get back to the Philippines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I could, but I couldn't get to C zone 62 with a landing site. So I wanted to get him over here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yes, 5 verse 4, he's got the opportunity plus the battleship if he wanted to, but this is something I do got to watch out for is he could come back this way for a sea lion threat. I mean, we could block it, but then we got to defend it. All right. Just kind of triple checking things, making sure I'm not overlooking something. So we should have a carrier, battleship, destroyer, cruiser. So destroyer, cruiser, battleship, carrier group, good. Gonna take there, good. So the good news too is I'm down to just this game and my game versus Elric. I think I may have mentioned. So hopefully I can focus a little bit more and see if we can't salvage this game still. It's going to be interesting. I'll be very happy if I'm able to pull this game back off. After, this one isn't a recover from dice mode because there hasn't been any bad dicings. It's a recover from my own stupidity mode. All right. All right, so let's talk about the setup just a little bit, right? So he does have 7 fighters. These fighters could go 1, 2, 3 and hit these 4 destroyers. But for that to be a legal move, he has to take out, he has to attempt to take out the destroyer and the C Zone 60 fleet in order to do that. So at the very least, he has to send a destroyer versus this and at least 1 fighter up against the C Zone 60. And so then that would leave him 6 fighters, which he could go into, but he's not going to be able to move his carriers to catch him, right? Because they're on set 3. So the only way they're going to be able to land is if he can move his carriers into C Zone 60. So he'd have to take C Zone 60 to land them. So if he wants to send 4 fighters that are all going to die, plus have to sacrifice a fighter to C Zone 60 just to kill that, I'm fine with that. So these guys are actually kind of safe unless I'm missing something, which Lord knows I can't be missing something. Um, we'll see. Now, here's the hard part. This battle, if he sends all 7 of his fighters into Sea Zone 60, this is a 50-50 toss-up. And I had to make it so fighters go before carriers in this one. This battle here, when I bring in the rest of my UK folks into here, becomes fairly solid, actually. I should say we should be okay here, even with all of this. It's like a 60% defense, positive defense, or something like that. But I really need this to be carriers before fighters to make that defense the most effective. So I made the UK defense profile fighters before carriers, and the US fighters before carriers, UK carriers before fighters. Ugh. I better double check I did that right. Yeah, UK is full defense. US has to be fighter before carrier, because otherwise, if it does, he could hit here and then retreat, and then my fighters die. Now, um, in this one, I just need max defense. In any case, we're going to see how this goes. If this works for dead zoning here, so he then has to do something else. Hopefully, we're going to load this up to max defense. And like I said, I think it gives him a 35% chance for the Japan. So then he has to make a decision. He can't stay here because I'll have the dead zone really of all the fleets here, hopefully. So he's going to have to go somewhere with these guys and use blockers if need be. Now, that's where it's going to be a headache, is if he takes these 4 and he comes down and brings 4 transports worth of guys down here and then into the Atlantic, that's going to be a headache. So, alright, that was a US turn. I guess I do got to take my Russia turn, don't I? You know, I talked about having 4 held pretty well, and now I'm realizing I'm debating my own self. Do I really have it held? 18, 22, 23, 24. 2 artillery tank, and I got the fighter in there too. Yeah, we're good. Okay, started to worry and question myself a little bit there. Oh wait, combat. I don't think we're gonna do any combat. No, we're not doing combat. I'm sitting here debating whether I should plug him up here just to prevent the tank blitz and then back. But this also prevents the Japan getting extra points, and I'm wanting to choke off UK or Japan as quickly as possible. You know what? I think I am gonna make Germany. He's so low on infantry. I'd rather make him use infantry to take that. All right, and I think that's it for the Russia turn. So hopefully I can salvage this. I don't know. I may have shot myself in the foot too heavily. We'll see. All right. Till next time.